Hey, Bass Geek here, and today I'm going to share with you one of my super secret favorite soft bait manufacturers. So I've been working with the company for a little while now. I haven't really talked about them. We kind of started working together in the off season over the winter. And it's Bassmunitions lures. He makes some really awesome, really durable, but still really supple, really soft. As you can see, really soft. I mean, that tail literally almost touches itself. Soft plastic baits, not just swim baits, but about every bait you can imagine. He's always coming out with more. Now, he's a local guy, and you guys know that I love to support my local bait manufacturers. Ledgehead, Major League Lures, and now Bassmunitions. He's just right up the road from me. He makes some really great baits, you know, everything from grubs to crawls. You know, he makes them all. And he makes them in a ton of colors. And here's why I love to work with the local guys. He'll make them as long as it's not something like super crazy that's going to be, you know, real expensive. But if you want to buy them and pay for them, he'll make you pretty much whatever color or lack thereof you want. And you can see, we'll talk about this a little bit later. That's kind of one of my super secret baits that he makes for me. Okay, so I'm going to go over, I got a huge, I bought a bunch of stuff. I joined his pro staff. I mean, I might as well have been buying his stuff for a while now, kind of phasing out, you know, my Kitex, phasing out my bottom hoppers for my shaky heads, that sort of stuff with his baits. So, you know, I'm slowly kind of moving to his baits. Number one, having a bait manufacturer that makes as much stuff as he makes in as many colors as he makes. And then if I have a special request, I mean, he'll make that for me. So having a bait manufacturer that is right at my back door, I can get the baits whenever I want. I can get the baits that I want, how I want, when I want, and what colors I want them in. You know, it simplifies the game for me. You know, I don't have 20 different brands out there that I'm dealing with. I'm able to kind of, you know, hone everything down just a little bit. Now, you know, he doesn't make every style of bait under the sun. And, you know, he'll, of course, be the first to admit that. But he's trying. But anyway, so like I said, I've joined hands with Bassmunitions. Now, one thing I want you to do is I actually want you to go out and check out his new website, because I actually put that together for him. Now, he did a lot of work, as I showed him, you know, how simple it is to do it. But guys, go out there, check it out. It's bassmunitionslures.com. That's simple. Go out there and check it out. Just cruise through it, even if you don't buy anything. If you do buy something, Geek10, you got a discount code, so make sure you go out there. You get 10% off your entire order, every order you ever make. All that being said, you know, go out there and check out his website. At least check it out and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about it, what's good and what's bad about it. Tell me if you like the navigation and how I've got it laid out, and tell me what I could do better with it. You know, I'm trying to help out a local guy and help him present his baits and his lures in a professional manner. All right, so right now, I've got a ton of stuff. I'm not going to show you every single color. He's got every color under the sun listed on his website. But I am going to show you some of the baits I ordered this time. You'll see some of the other baits as I begin to buy more. He's got so many, I really just can't afford to buy them all. Now, guys, I think a very overlooked bait is a grub. And Richard makes some really awesome grubs, and I will show you this grub right here. And again, one of the very first days I went up and visited his shop, you know, he's sitting there and he's talking about plastics with one of my friends. And, you know, he's talking about how, I mean, and you know, I'm a geeky guy, but this is over my head. you know, he's talking about consistency and porosity and all this crazy stuff of plastics that I'm just like, you know, what in the hell are you talking about, man? I have no clue. And, you know, he's really worked hard to get his plastic both durable and soft. And I mean, you can see in this grub, and look at the size of that tail. Guys, one of my favorite ways in the world to fish a grub, this grub right here, I love to throw on a spinner bait. It is my favorite thing to put on a spinner bait, especially when the shad are spawning. I cannot tell you how many times you will destroy just a boatload of bass when you put this little grub on the end of a spinner bait. And 90% of the time, I don't even add a trailer hook on it. I mean, they eat it when you've got that on. I put a white on if I've got a primarily white, which if I'm fishing a shad spawn, 90% of the time I'm fishing some sort of shad color spinnerbait, and that's what I'm going to. But also, guys, believe it or not, the grub, that's the original swim bait. We'll talk about more of that. We'll talk a little more on that in a later video. That's the original swim bait, guys. All right. So he's got two different grubs. These are the chub grubs. And again, I'll show you, some pictures of what I have. You can go out to his website and make sure you check out all the different colors. And you guys know me, I'm pretty standard. Green pumpkin, white. I did pick up, the chartreuse. He's got an awesome color. He does a bluegill flash in a grub, and I can't wait to show you this one. Especially around, again, you pick up a spinnerbait around the time that those bluegill are up on the bed, and I'm going to tell you what, that little grub right there is going to catch you some fish. Now, he's got another grub, which I like a lot, either alone as kind of a flipping bait, and it's got some great kick to it, or to put it on a jig when you're flipping. And it's called the Mach One Grub. Now, there's a couple of different things, and Richard had brought this up to me. You can also rig this sideways, either on a buzz bait, so it comes through the water just like that, and it kicks, swims like a bait fish, or on a spinnerbait too. So again, that's something that I can't wait to try. I'm going to have to pick up some white in this so that I can put it on a spinnerbait. But these make great jig trailers. You can pop apart the little claws, and it looks like a great little flapping crawl on the end of a jig trailer. Really finessey style, but it's got a lot of kick to it. And again, he has them in a ton of different colors. There's watermelon candy. Here's watermelon red. There's just a ton of different baits. I mean, you can't beat black and blue. Oh, wait. Haha, I'm lying. I don't even know what I bought. There's my white. So I can't wait to throw that on a buzz bait or a spinner bait and give that a try this year. Now, a lot of guys ask me what one of my favorite finesse baits are, and you guys might not consider this a finesse bait, but I actually consider the shaky head a finesse bait. Now, this worm right here in particular, it is called the crawler. So the thing about the crawler is it's actually flat on one side from the tail down, and as it's falling, it gives it a great kick. You can wacky rig these. Nico rigging these are awesome. And one thing you'll really notice about Richard's bait, he has his own scent. He calls it rocket fuel. And guys, it stinks, but in the best of ways. It's not just garlic. It's got a really unique, unusual smell to it. And I have to say, it's pretty impressive. But this is one of my favorites that we have here. And again, he makes it in a ton of different colors. So the crawler, make sure you go check that out. He also makes the Tnt Hog. Now, I seen this one and I had to pick it up. I don't remember the color. It's a Bluegill Pearl. And I mean, guys, look at this color. I mean, that is phenomenal. Phenomenal colored Tnt Hog. But again, makes every color you can ever imagine, so make sure you get out there and check those out. Now, Here, for you drop shot guys, is an incredible little bait, and he calls it the Torpedo. And the reason he calls it the Torpedo is because it's got a nice little torpedo tail, which gives it a nice little, you know, spiral, death spiral down. And again, you know, look at that morning dawn color. It is a beautiful little bait, great for the drop shot. I mean, a great little drop shot bait. Definitely look into those and check them out. Like I said, I mean, the man makes, when I was putting his website together, the amount of colors that he made literally drove me mad. I mean, I was like, holy Jesus, do we really need this many colors? It's incredible the amount of colors he makes. Now we're getting into some of the baits that I really enjoy using as trailers, and, you know, even as finesse flipping baits when they want something a little small. Now he makes an awesome looking little beaver style bait, and it's called the Breacher. And this is the Breacher Mini. I don't have any of his big breachers right now, but here is the Breacher Mini. And I mean, what I love about this is a do-nothing bait. It's very subtle in its action, but it also has a nice thick body. And this right here on a nice little lighter jig, or even by itself, very subtle. It's really going to pull in those hard to come by bites. And again, guys, I mean, it's a unique smell. It's a unique smell, to say the least. My whole basement now smells like rocket fuel. But anyway, again, comes in a ton of different colors. You know, here's the summer crawl. You know, gotta have my black and blue flake. You know, gotta have, you guys know, I'm a watermelon red guy in my clear water. It's one of my favorite colors to flip with. Now we're going to move on. Now this is a bait that I wouldn't necessarily use as a jig trailer, but this is a bait that I actually like to flip when they're on, you know, the small crawdads, the small crayfish. It's got some great action. He calls it the Mach One Crawl, and you'll see why. It's a great little, if I can get the claws apart for you here, but it's an awesome little, you know, finesse style flipping bait. Now you can put it on a jig, put it on a finesse jig, put it on a standard, you know, regular jig. But what I love about it, you got all the little appendages, and you can see those little claws, man, they flutter like crazy. It's why he calls it the Mach One Crawl, because it's got a ton of action on the fall. But these things are great. I mean, I can't wait to actually flip these by themselves when the bite's tough, or when they're really feeding on smaller crayfish. Again, he's got some great colors. Here's the Bama Crawl. That was watermelon candy, watermelon red. You can tell green pumpkin, black blue flake. You can tell I've went out and I began to stock up on these baits. But one of my favorite crawl baits that he makes is actually the wild crawl, and it's really close to like a rage crawl. And I'm telling you, got the same amount of action, looks great on the back of a jig. Again, got that rocket fuel scent. But you can see, I mean, it is a great looking little crawl. And I mean, these things flap like crazy. Real wide flapping bait as it falls, real big claws, going to move a lot of water, really going to call fish from a long distance. And again, you know, you can tell I stocked up. You know, here we've got watermelon red, watermelon candy, black blue flake, green pumpkin. Green pumpkin, I love green pumpkin in clear water on the back of a jig. And here we've got one of my favorite colors for the back of a jig, green pumpkin. Green pumpkin I love in clear water on the back of a jig. And here we've got one of my favorite colors, green pumpkin red. That is an awesome jig trailer. Love it. Guys, this bait has to be literally right up there with, you know, the swim baits. I'm telling you, this is my favorite jig trailer of all time. Of all time. This bait I even actually named. It's called the Moab, mother of all beavers. Guys, this is a big beaver. Now you can cut it down. What I love is you can easily pull these apart and cut this down. You can use it as a chunk. It's a very subtle jig trailer. I love this during the summer. You can put the whole thing up on there, thread it up on there. You're going to have a really big jig, but you can cut it down and you'll have a very bulky jig with some very subtle action. And during the summer and even during the winter, that right there is great. And then being able to flip this bait, when they're finicky, man, hold on, I'm telling you. It's got a very subtle action, but it's got a very bulky size. And what's great about it, again, the ribs, you can easily just pop it off to make it any size you want. Alright, so let's get into what you've been waiting for. I showed it to you at the beginning of the video, and I know you're super excited to see this. And I really don't want to share it with you. But guys, you know, you got me to 10,000. I guess I need to give you something for that, right? Alright, anyway, so we're going to start out with some of the other baits. Now, he makes these swim baits in, I mean, so many different colors. He does a 2.8, a 3.3, a 3.8, and a 4.8. And I'll show you one of my favorite colors all the way around, again, for clear water, is, I mean, look at that Ghost Shad. That is a Ghost Shad version and a 4.8. I mean, boys, that is a big, big bait. And, you know, that's one of my favorite colors in these for clear water. You know, when I'm throwing these rib baits now, I like a little bit of stained water most of the time. Even with that Ghost Shad right there, you know, they're moving so much water, there's so much vibration. And these types of baits generally, you know, I'm going to fish in those colder times of year, or when the fish are more inactive. Because when they're inactive, you know, you can take these type of baits, you can reel them very, very slowly, and they've still got that nice wide tail kick. The other time that I really love to throw these is on the back of a swim jig. Hands down, favorite lure to throw on the back of a swim jig. And I'm going to show you a little something. Speaking of, you know, he'll make you any color or any color combination you want. So you guys know I fish a lot of clear water. So one of the things that I've been dying to try in clear water, because you know I'm a big fan of the Ghost Shad, you know, the Boom Shad, you know, and I mean that's a very translucent bait. So one of the things that I've been dying to try, especially up shallow, is a 110% crystal clear little bait. And I mean, boys, look at that 2.8 right there. I am so jacked up to try. And then he looked at me and he goes, hey, he goes, I'm making 4.8s when I showed him those. And I was like, I want a 2.8, a 3.3, and a 3.8. He goes, hey, I got something else for you. I'm at his shop up there, and he goes, I just got my 4.8 molds in. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I want 4.8 in that. Can you imagine that on those schools out there when that water is 15, 20, you know, 30 foot clear? And here we've got a crystal clear 4.8 Recon Shad. Guys, like I said, he makes them in so many colors, and I mean, it's just unbelievable what I've got here. Bluegill Flash, Sexy Shad, let's see what else. AU, that's an awesome color right there. He makes them in Tennessee Shad. You name it, man, he makes them. Guys, you know, this video would be 82 hours long if I showed you every color. Richard, you make too many damn colors, bro. But, again, that's the great thing about Bassmunitions. And remember, guys, you know, this guy has been featured in Lucky Tackle Box twice, okay? Twice. So make sure you get out there and you check him out. Again, bassmunitionlures.com. Leave me a comment below after you go check out the website. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you think about the navigation, how I've got things broke up. You know, we're slowly adding actual pictures of the baits in these colors as we go, but we've at least got some snapshots of some colors out there. So we're constantly improving. So make sure you get out there and you try them out. You're going to catch more fish on them. They're going to save you money. but they also have the action that we've all come to know and love. So like I said, make sure you get out there, make sure you try them. Geek 10 is my discount code. It will be in the bottom. I will also pin a comment so that you guys make sure you have it, and a link to his website will be in the description, and I will also pin a link. Guys, thank you so much for the 10,000 subscribers. We are going to do a huge giveaway, and Bassmunitions is going to be a big part of that. So go out and show Bassmunitions some love. Give him some tries. Come back. Tell us what you think about his baits. And let him know. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways. I don't know. But just make sure you come back and tell us, what do you like, what do you don't like. Let us know, because we're always working, well, he's always working to make them better and make you happier and sell more baits. That's what it's all about. Guys, for me, you know, it just streamlines what I do with soft plastics. I can go to one guy, get what I want, when I want, how I want it. And that's a big deal, man. Support your local tackle makers, your local bait makers. They're going to be the guys that are going to put you on the most and biggest fish. All right. So as always, questions and comments in the comment section below. I've done told you what to say. Let me know about the website. Let me know about the baits. And just let me know what you think about the channel or anything. Let's just talk about fishing. You know I love to do it with you guys. I say it all the time. I think you think I'm full of crap. But I really mean it. Ask me questions. I love it. That's why I do it, guys. So, you know, like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for the 10,000, man. You guys rock. Thank you. You're the best. You're the 10,000, and you're the best. You guys rock.